Hello, good morning. This is DrRosmaini again. I'm continuing my lecture for Management Information System, Chapter 8, Enterprise Application. So in this lecture, we'll be covering on few learning objectives. Basically, I have to make you understand on what enterprise system is all about and how it can help for operational excellence in managing business. And I have to explain three topics in this chapter. One is on the supply chain management system, customer relationship management, and also enterprise resource planning. And I will also on the highlight what are the enterprise application challenges all about. And we see few technologies that can be implemented by organization to enhance its business operation. Basically, first, the system that I'll be covering is the enterprise system, which is called ERP. What ERP is all about is basically it is a consolidated system that merge all the operation of a key department in the organization. Basically, enterprise resource planning system are uh, a big software normally integrating many modules. For example, from production, human resource, finance, and also operation of the business. So this big system normally is a centralized database in which it will collect many data from a key department so that it can be consolidated and be applied, referred by many departments at the same time. In other words, a single information which is entered into the process is then immediately can be assessed or can be seen by other departments so that it will reduce the time to share and distribute information. And that's why it is called enterprise resource planning. So let's see one video clip how this actually the function system of ERP. How does the ERP system function? Let's have a look.
The very basic question is, why enterprise resource planning, also called ERP, is required? To answer, let's examine this typical business scenario. A client approaches the sales team to buy a particular product. Sales team approaches the inventory department to check the availability of the product. In this case, the product is out of stock. The sales team approaches the production planning department to manufacture the product. The production planning team checks with the inventory department for availability of raw material. If raw material is not available within the inventory, the production planning team buys the raw material from the vendors. Then production planning forwards the raw materials to the shop floor execution for actual production. Once ready, the shop floor team forwards the goods to the sales team, who in turn deliver it to the client. The sales team updates the finance department with revenue generated by the sale of the product. The production planning team updates the finance department with payments to be made to different vendors for raw materials. All departments approach HR for any human resource related issue. That is the typical business process of any manufacturing company. Some key inferences one could derive from this scenario would be: a typical enterprise has many departments or business units. These departments or business units continuously communicate and exchange data with each other. The success of any organization lies in its effective communication and data exchange within these departments, as well as associated third parties such as vendors, outsources, and customers. Based on the manners in which communication and data exchange is managed, enterprise software systems can be broadly classified as decentralized systems or centralized systems, which are also called ERP. Let's look at decentralized systems first. In a company with a decentralized system of data management, data is maintained locally at the individual departments. Departments do not have access to information or data of other departments. To identify the problems arising from decentralized enterprise management systems, let's look at the same business process again. The customer approaches the sales team for a product, but this time he needs the product on an urgent basis. The sales team do not have real-time information access to the product's inventory. So they approach the inventory department to check the availability of the product. This process takes time, and the customer chooses another vendor, leading to loss of revenue and customer dissatisfaction. Now suppose the product is out of stock and the sales team approaches the production planning team to manufacture the product for future use. The production planning team checks the availability of the raw materials required. Raw material information is separately stored by production planning as well as the inventory department. Thus, data maintenance cost goes up. A particular raw material required to manufacture the product is available in the inventory, but according to the database of the production planning team, the raw material is out of stock. So they go ahead and buy the raw material. Thus, material as well as inventory costs go up. Once the raw material is available, the shop floor department suddenly realizes they are short of workers. They approach the HR, who in turn hire temporary employees at higher than market rates. Thus, labor cost increases. The production planning department fails to update the finance department on the materials they have purchased. The finance department defaults the payment deadline set by the vendor, causing the company loss of its reputation and even inventing a possible legal action. These are just a few of the many problems with decentralized systems. Some major problems with the decentralized system are numerous disparate information systems that are developed individually over time and are difficult to maintain. Integrating the data is time and money consuming. Inconsistencies and duplication of data. Lack of timely information leads to customer dissatisfaction, loss of revenue, and reputation. High inventory, material, and human resource costs. These are just some of the major drawbacks for which we need a solution. Well, the solution lies in centralized systems, that is, ERP. In a company with a centralized system of information and data management, data is maintained at a central location and is shared with various departments. Departments have access to information or data of other departments. Let's look at the same business process again to understand how a centralized enterprise system helps overcome problems posed by a decentralized enterprise system. In this case, all departments update a central information system. When a customer approaches the sales team to buy a product on an urgent basis, the sales team has real-time information access to the products in inventory, which is updated by the inventory department in the centralized system. The sales team responds on time, leading to increased revenue and customer delight. In case manufacturing is required, the sales team updates the centralized database. Production planning department is auto-updated by the centralized database for requirements. The production planning team checks the availability of the raw materials required via central database, which is updated by the inventory department. Thus, data duplication is avoided and accurate data is made available. The shop floor team updates their manpower status regularly in the central database, which can be accessed by the HR department. In case of a shortage of workforce, the HR team starts recruitment process with considerable lead time to hire a suitable candidate at market price. Thus, labor costs go down. Vendors can directly submit their invoices to the centralized enterprise system, which can be accessed by the finance department. Thus, payments are made on time and possible legal actions are avoided. The key benefits of the centralized system are: it eliminates the duplication, discontinuity, and redundancy in data. It provides information across departments in real time. It provides control over various business processes. It increases productivity, provides better inventory management, promotes quality, reduces material cost, allows for effective human resources management, and reduces overhead while boosting profits. Better customer interaction, increased throughput, and improved customer service. Hence, a centralized enterprise management system is required. SAP is a centralized enterprise management system, also known as Enterprise Resource Planning. The very basic question.
Okay, just now the video clip explained how does the ERP system function. So that is some of the key features and function. How does ERP system, for example, by the name of SAP. SAP is a software system from Germany, and it is most widely used in Malaysian manufacturing company. So enterprise software also available in the other form of software, namely Oracle. Oracle is another ERP software system which is from the US, and it is also widely used in Malaysian manufacturing company. So the essence of ERP system, basically these are four departments: finance, human resource, manufacturing, and sales. These are the four key departments that build up the ERP system like Oracle and SAP. So this is the conceptual diagram of the ERP system. So the major features is this centralized database, as per explained by the video clip, the ERP mechanism function. So in this centralized database, all information regarding the requirement of customer, for example, product name, product number, parts, are all updated into this centralized database. So if customer orders, they normally contact sales, and sales will load how much is the customer is ordering, and then manufacturing will get access to the new request order. So the finance will be updating the status of payment of the customer, and human resource also can see the same data, so that all four key departments functioning synergistically, so that they can have a fast processing time. They can have a faster processing time. So as such, in the overall ERP system, it adds a new value-added process to process the information. So as such, the efficiency of information processing become faster, because just single data entry, all four key departments can access the same data. So it can help the managers to make a better decision, faster decision, more accurate decision. So at the same time, customer will have a faster response in terms of their product order. And in the bottom line is that since it is a centralized database, so all data will be put together. So it will facilitate the analysis of the data ordered by customer for business analysis in future. The second software type that I'm discussing in the enterprise system is what they call supply chain management system. Okay, ERP system, just now we saw the SAP and Oracle is basically focusing on the internal company. Now, the second system I'm explaining is the supply chain management, which is SCM. It focuses more on the procurement or purchasing of material, raw material, perhaps spare parts that is needed by the company. And upon getting the raw material, then they transform the product into finished product, and soon they distribute to their customer who are ordering the products. So basically, SCM supply chain management is focusing on the upstream supply chain, which is at the upper part of the supply chain. For example, from the supplier, of course, the supplier got also their own supplier, and the process of managing the relationship of supplying with your supplier. So this is basically about handling the upper process of your production line. So take a look on this diagram, like Nike supply chain. For example, these are the upstream supply relations diagram, and this is the downstream supply chain diagram. So, for example, this is a Nike production factory for producing these kind of sport shoes. So this is the Nike factory which are producing the shoes, and of course Nike, in order to produce the shoes, it needs a supplier, contract supplier, for example, to supply the rubber sole or to supply the leather parts of the shoes, and this leather supply also need some other supplier in the tier 2 and the tier 3. So the things are continuing in this way. So when Nike already fully assembled the Nike shoes, they also has to distribute the Nike shoes to, for example, to the exporter or to the distributor, and the distributor later supply to supermarket like a retailer, right? And later retailer, then the supply goes to customer. So here is the overall upstream Nike supply chain to the downstream. So SCM, supply chain management, can basically help companies to reduce the operation expenses as much as 1/4 of expenses. So this is quite a significant change, because SCM will reduce the supply ordering time by having a JIT approach, just in time approach, in which component that's supposed to arrive and being used by the factory will arrive just on time as when and what is needed. And finished good, upon completion of the product, they will be supplied to customer immediately, because all the system are being centralized into a single system named supply chain management. And there is no need for safety stock or buffer stock. So in such, it will eliminate waste. Why supply chain is important? Because we need to avoid the effect of bullwhip, right? Bullwhip effect is explained in the next slide. So this is the whole supply chains for Nike manufacturing shoes, right? From the upper stream, tier 3, tier 2, tier 1, and then this is Nike factory, and later they supply to distributor up to customer at the downstream. So bullwhip effect is the fact that if a manufacturer is facing problem, for example, disruption in terms of their supply chain, for example, at retailer, so this will backstream effect the manufacturer, and also the upstream stage of the supplier too. For example, in few decades ago, Nike is experiencing kind of disruption in terms of supply. For example, this distributor to retailer, and customer complain as far as the Nike emblem here. So it is actually intended for marketing brand Nike Air. However, this incident caused social unrest in the United States, especially, and also in the Middle East, because this air diagram is almost similar to the writings of Allah in Arabic. So in the US market and the Middle East market, they protest this product because of this writing. So when this retailer is facing the major boycott by the customer, so of course distributor got to halt their supply, and manufacturer got to stop their production in doing the adjustment, and of course the rest to the tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. This is what we call bullwhip effect. Any disruption along the line of supply will also affect the other major supply chain. So this is the case for bullwhip effect that leads to disruption in supply. So what is SCM software is all about? Supply chain management is basically to enable company to plan their demand, and they can also optimize their sourcing supplier, and they can also better plan their manufacturing plan, because in this manufacturing plan perhaps it is being managed by ERP, and SCM software also can control better inventory management, so they can also at the same time improve their transportation modes. So by this way, on the overall flow of product from the supplier to the receiver, like manufacturer, and also to shipment to customer, all can be handled by SCM software, supply management software. Okay, this is because the nature of current business operation is basically global. So we operate in the global scale. For example, manufacturer in Malaysia, but our supplier is from China, and the actual destination of the product is basically USA. So in the overall sense that since the internet technology is available, so it can help to manage this kind of global business interaction around the world, as far as managing the store or the warehouse, planning the transportation, planning for the shipment, and also outsourcing of your supply. So let's take a look on the supply chain management system, how it works at one of a global logistic company by the name of DHL.
As the world's leading logistics company, DHL provides best-in-class supply chain solutions to its customers through its DHL International Supply Chain Management Solution. Managing customer supply chains on a global scale, DHL is the perfect partner for multinational companies of all sizes. Our facilities and employees across the globe are strategically positioned to manage your logistics effectively.
DHL is a global market leader in the logistics industry. We provide innovative, customized supply chain solutions to our customers worldwide, enabled by best-in-class service coupled with leading-edge technology. We have a strong worldwide presence with more than 850 locations, including warehouses and offices in 150 countries. We have over 30,000 highly qualified employees across the world and are well positioned to meet the needs of our customers.
With a global distribution network, DHL is a market leader and a key business partner to our customers that offers global connectivity across borders and regions. At DHL, our operation excellence has set new standards in the industry. From solution design, implementation to operations, processes are orchestrated to provide the optimal end-to-end solution for our customers. With globalization, increasing supply chain complexity, and the need for speed, adaptability, accuracy, and timeliness, DHL operates the state-of-the-art purchase order management system, a platform capable of receiving customers' purchase order information and providing unit-level visibility and critical milestones across the end-to-end supply chain. This fully integrated system allows customers to have real-time information for all international shipments across the globe. The systemic platform is supported by a specialist trained team, providing dynamic cost and lead time optimization, performance, KPI reporting, and ongoing recommendations, proactively reacting to changes in the supply chain.
today's highly competitive and interconnected global economy, supply chain strategy has become more important than ever in our customers' ability to drive down costs and increase service to their end customer.
In 2007, Loblaw launched our private label brand Joe Fresh. It was an immediate success domestically. We recognized an opportunity internationally to launch the brand, which we shortly did after, without a supply chain to support the expanded launch into the international market. DHL was able to deliver a solution that involved consolidating goods from around the world in many ports in Hong Kong centrally and move the goods into our expanded international market.
Our customers are facing challenges with forecasting, stock planning, shipment visibility, increasing costs of product handling, and transportation. At DHL, we are the experts in constantly improving cost and lead time performance to the end-to-end supply chain. Our solution reduces customers' freight spend and overall supply chain costs.
As a preferred supply chain management provider, DHL is dedicated to providing high service levels to our customers. Our quality management processes look at performance across the supply chain and optimizes opportunities for your business. The regional control towers across the world centralize data, streamlining communication and operating processes. This improved efficiency translates into our customers' competitive advantage.
DHL's strength is helping Loblaw to be more competitive by being able to have products on shelves fast, fresh, and at value prices. Our outstanding solution has reduced domestic touch points and handling, direct flow to regional distribution centers, further complemented by direct to stores right from Asia.
Logistics is about service and people. With more than 850 locations to manage, we connect through one global team across Asia Pacific, Europe, and the Americas. Managing vast differences in culture and infrastructure across countries and regions, we constantly uphold a high standard in our approach and delivery for international supply chain management services, providing best-in-class industry solutions to our customers.
At DHL, we provide our customers with a single contact window, providing global expertise.
We have hub facilities in key geographies such as Shanghai, Yantian, Hong Kong, and Singapore, Malaysia, which serve as distribution points for our customers regionally, interregionally, or globally. At DHL, we are committed to a high global standard under one worldwide banner.
Okay, just now is the explanation on the video clip that elaborating on supply chain management system by one of the worldwide player in supply chain SCM, which is called DHL. So basically, it is handling the raw material, warehousing, and delivery of the business side of the operation. So basically, supply chain management system has two types. Either it is push-based or either it is pull-based, right? So supply chain management can be elaborated in this way. For example, for push-based model, this is actually started from supplier and manufacturer. Push-based model basically good to explain for production like shoes, like these shoes like Nike and Adidas, in which normally the product are being pushed by supplier. So supplier will push for their raw material, right? And manufacturer will produce the shoes normally in the big number, and it push to distributor, and it goes to retailer, and all the shoes are available in the outlet, and shops are available for customer to choose from. So in this case, actually manufacturer are pushing the shoes to customer. So customer normally has lesser option to choose what kind of shoes that he or she wants. So what she or he has is just to purchase or buy from the available model which is sold in the shop or in the outlet. So this is what they call push-based model, in which manufacturer are pushing available shoes to customer. However, on the second model of supply chain management system, it is more towards a pull-based model. Pull-based model is basically starting from customer, in which customer are pulling the manufacturer and supplier to produce the product that the customer wants. For example, this is a typical product for push-based model. For example, automotive, like automobile. So normally customer can decide to purchase what kind of model that he or she wants. For example, the color, the design, the engine horsepower. So these are all basically decided by customer. And upon customer decide their model for the cars, and it will go and it will pass the order to the retailer, for example, Honda or Proton. So Honda and Proton will relay the information from the customer purchasing their product to the distributor, and ultimately goes to the car factory, and the factory will try to get the raw material from supplier. So that is basically pull-based model, in which customer is pulling the product from the manufacturer. So these are the two major models as far as supply chain marketing is concerned. So in future, it is more towards internet-driven supply, in which the supply chain management is actually handled, managed, and controlled by the internet. For example, Siemens is a big German company that producing IT product. So Siemens normally has its own private industrial network. So Siemens has already their list of supplier. Siemens also has their own factories. Siemens has their own distributor, retailers, customers, and so on. So in future, if Siemens are producing their product, so normally they will be kept within their private industrial network supply chain, which is basically those bonded with Siemens. So this is going to be a future internet-driven supply chain framework soon in future, because the internet are mostly handling the supply chain management networks and how it operates. So business value of supply chain management system is basically it helps to match the supply and demand to be at the best level. So SCM also enable to reduce the unnecessary inventory like stock buffer and so on. So SCM enable to shorten the lead time to supply or speed of product time to market. So in the overall supply chain management contribute to the reduction of 30% of operating costs. So in the overall sense that SCM supply chain management will increase sales due to customer can get fast feedback from the supplier. The third system that I'm trying to explain on enterprise system in this chapter is basically called customer relationship management. This is the ending part of the supply chain, in which SCM is the head, ERP is the body, whereas CRM is basically the tail. So customer relation is very essential as far as managing business, because that is where your sales is going, and from the sales the customer pay, and the payment from customer will go back to your company to pay the expenses in the form of pay raw material, pay for the salary, and so on. So basically CRM is one of the key important business software function in many companies. Okay, so customer relationship management basically manage these three segment, basically on the sales, on the marketing, and the service. Sales is basically dealing directly with a customer. This is what we call direct sales, because you are basically confronting the customer, entertaining customer, try to keep customer happy so that the customer will stay with your company. However, marketing is more towards future-oriented action. For example, how to give better promotion to customer, how to analyze what category of customer purchase what kind of product. So these are more in the sense of sales for the future as far as marketing is concerned. So the third part of CRM software is handling is the service, right? So for automobile, like call data center, you need to update the service schedule for customer, and these are part of maintaining so that the customer will stay with you, which is maintaining the service. There are many types of software available for CRM, customer relationship management, and one good company which are excellent in implementing CRM, customer relationship management, is Toyota. So this CRM is basically packages which are trying to offer to customers that the customer can get always get what they need. For example, for a car, they normally need the spare parts because they need replacement due to accident, damage, and so on. So CRM is one of the key enterprise system in many companies. So let's take a look on how does Toyota, one big global company as far as producing automobile, how do they take care of their customer?
As Toyota Turkey marketing and sales company, we have been Toyota distributor in Turkey since 1990. We have around 60 dealers, and they are offering 3S facilities under one roof. With 3S, we mean sales, service, and spare parts. In automotive business, products are becoming more similar. Every day it's coming closer, designs, products, and also even the services are copied very easily. So now we have to find another tool to create some brand advocates, not just for Toyota Turkey, but for Toyota in general. It's very important. One of the major focuses is complete customer satisfaction, and therefore CRM is one of the most important tools we use. Creating a good relationship with customer and a long-lasting relationship with customer is very important. As everything is very similar, you have to make a big discounts to be able to sell your products. But if you find the correct customer with the correct package at the right time, then it's much profitable for the companies also. After some research, we decided to work with Microsoft Dynamics, and it was very useful for us. It was easily integrated with our other systems.
Microsoft Office products are usually used in our dealers and our organization, other organizations. So it's not hard for our users to use the Microsoft Dynamics CRM because they are familiar with same Microsoft products.
By the help of the Microsoft CRM, our salespeople are just focusing on the selling rather than creating some tasks on the system, because everything is automated and everything is served to them to just doing selling.
With a good CRM program, you can follow up your customers more effectively and you can understand their needs. Microsoft Dynamics CRM helps Toyota Turkey to serve and reach our customers much effectively and easier.
Okay, just now it has been elaborated that Toyota use Microsoft Dynamics as far as the software, how to keep customer happy and how to keep customers stay with Toyota product. So as far as customer service is concerned, promotion, marketing, and so on. So basically, how does CRM support marketing? So normally the function for CRM engages many methods as far as keeping contact with customer. So 30.8% is basically directly contacting customer, and 29, almost also another 30% is by direct mailing, email, and the rest is basically using web. So these are some of the major mechanism. How does software CRM come into contact with the customer? So in order to have a close relationship with a customer and make sure customer in the good level of satisfaction for your service or for your product or for your sales. So basically, in the CRM, the customer data will be centralized from these three departments. Service department, for example, like Toyota service, delivery, if there are some exchange for return, service plan, and so on. And customer data also kept through the marketing department. For example, promotion, if there are events for customer to join, and also market operation, and some include their analytics. Customer data also constitutes of the sales department, which this is where the sales is being made. The customer is purchasing the product, including what kind of field sales that they need, and they also analyze customer sales from the CRM software. So basically, CRM is to maintain loyalty of customer. Basically, loyalty of customer will further enhance future businesses. CRM has two types. One is on the operational CRM. Operational CRM is daily to daily routine tasks in which liaising with customer as far as their purchase, as far as their needs for spare part replacement, as far as call center. These are the typical operational CRM. This to maintain daily to daily basis kind of operation. However, second type of CRM, it is more on the analysis base. So, for example, at analytical CRM, Toyota could analyze which part are the most required by customer to order. So, by that analysis, Toyota Center can keep a higher number of inventory for that kind of parts, and for which kind of model is the most satisfying Toyota model in the eyes of customer. So these are more on the targeted information to analyze by the CRM software. So from this analytical CRM data warehouse, basically all the database is centralized here, and managers and users at Toyota can data mine the customer data warehouse from this channel. For example, call center, they can see data browsing at the website, email, and so on. So from this centralized database, manager can detect which customer is mostly contributing the big profit to the company, like from the purchase or from the service, and which segment of customer give a better sales to the company, and so on. So these are basically what analytical CRM is doing for better decision making by managers at the company. So this another type of CRM, which is more on collaborative, because nowadays it is internet based. So another type of CRM software is for collaboration, unique interaction between Toyota service to Toyota headquarter, and also Toyota subsidiary in the other parts of the world. So basically, CRM is basically to increase customer satisfaction by the way of having close contact and relation with customer to ensure customer are happy, customer are satisfied, and what they need is being served. And CRM also able to reduce the cost as far as marketing, so company can better more effectively market their product to customer. There are several available big software in enterprise application challenge. So, for example, this kind of brand is quite available in the market, whether in Malaysia or in the rest of the world. For example, Oracle, SAP, and say Movex. However, the biggest challenge for this enterprise challenge is actually the cost is very huge. So normally ERP software in companies are quite expensive, and I would say mostly ERP software system are being used by a large company, because this kind of system costs millions to the company. And one large system for ERP like SAP will cost around 12 million, and like average or mid type of system called around cost company around 3.5 million. So these are part of the big challenges of ERP system in companies, because the cost is I would say quite expensive. However, we are moving to the next generation enterprise, in which more towards service-oriented architecture, in which company does not necessarily need to purchase the software, but they could subscribe to the service. So this is what they call service-oriented architecture, rather than purchasing the software. So you are basically subscribing to the software for the service, and in this way, in this kind of next generation enterprise application, the cost is slightly lower in comparison to the previous model, in which you have to buy a big and large software system. Okay, I think I have covered this lecture pretty much for around 50 minutes. I think it is quite long enough for one chapter, and as such, it will give a good length for me to upload to the YouTube. I would like to say thank you for your attention in my lecture in this chapter 8, and I will come back to lecture in the next chapter soon. Once again, thank you for your attention. Okay, goodbye.